What's up, Sabu expats? Ever since I left Chicago for the Philippines, let me tell you, two things happened. Number one, my expenses got cut in half, but not only that, my quality of life has increased astronomically. I can eat out nearly every day, get haircuts for $8, massages for $5, and take weekend trips out to the beach. And the thing is, I don't spend much per month to live the kind of life that only the wealthy in the States can afford. So the question is, how did I do this and how can you do that too? Lifestyle arbitrage, that's the name of the game. With favorable exchange rates, we have the privilege to be able to leverage our Western income here in the Philippines. And so not only will your dollar stretch much further, but you'll also get more bang for your buck here. You can live the kind of lifestyle that couldn't be previously afforded in the West, even if you're making a decent salary. So with that being said, in this video, we're diving into how to live large but spend small in the Philippines. Because if there's one place you can do that, it's definitely here. So without wasting time, let's get straight into this. Okay, so you want to live like a baller without having to pay the exorbitant baller prices. I got just the thing for you. If there's one thing about the Philippines, it's absolutely unbelievable how affordable the services are here. And I bet as someone looking to live the retired lifestyle, what you're looking for is to be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want. And the best way to do that here in the Philippines is to hire house help or outsource tasks that you don't want to handle yourself because you got better things to do. Maybe go out and have a coffee and people watch, go golfing, go to the beach, you name it. So what I've done, which mind you is very affordable here in the Philippines, is hire house help and even a driver. And let me tell you, it makes your life so much easier for a fraction of the price that you'd be charged if you were to hire this kind of help back in the States. Because if someone in the West tells you that they have a maid, a nanny, a driver, a cook, your immediate thought for that would be they're filthy rich. But here in the Philippines, not only is it normal to have a lot of house help or a driver, but it's also well within budget for the average person earning a Western income. So let's break down the cost to afford such luxuries. The average housekeeper's salary in the Philippines is about 13,000 pesos per month. And in dollars, that's around $230 per month for everything at home to be taken care of for you. Dishes washed, clothes washed and folded, house cleaned, meals made. And so comparing apples to oranges, if you were to hire house help like this back in the States, it would cost you a minimum of 3K USD easily. And that salary alone for a housekeeper, 3K USD, would afford you a high quality lifestyle in the Philippines in nearly any city that you choose. Now, how about hiring a driver? The average salary for a driver in the Philippines is roughly 15K per month, which in dollars is $300 per month. In my experience, the past on-call driver that I had was getting paid around 25K pesos per month, or around $500. But let me tell you, he was worth every single cent. Whenever, wherever, I can call him whenever I want, and we'll go as far as the beaches of Batangas on a spontaneous Tuesday afternoon from BGC, and he's ready to go. And so you see what I mean by being able to live large but spend small here in the Philippines. Now, as for a nanny, which I've never personally needed to hire or will need to hire, fingers crossed, that's roughly around a 13K salary for a nanny, which in dollars, they get paid $230 per month. And then if you'd like to hire a house chef to prepare all your meals at home, which in my opinion is a little bit overkill because if you were to hire a maid anyways, they would be able to do such things. Their average salary as a house chef is 15K pesos per month or $300 per month. Now do bear in mind with the figures that I'm giving you right now, these are base salary fees for on-call services. If you do decide on the other hand, however, that you want a live-in nanny, driver, housekeeper, or chef, in that case, you would also have to cover their living expenses and housing expenses as well. But if you do decide on the other hand that you want a live-in nanny, driver, housekeeper, chef, in that case, you would have to keep in mind that you'd cover their living expenses and their food expenses as well. For me, on-call services was the best route to take, and it was well worth it, not only connections-wise, but also price-wise. Conversations with everyone that I hired was great, and of course, as Filipinos, they're very hospitable and a world of service. So, hiring services and outsourcing them is the first way that you can live large but spend small in the Philippines, especially in relation to what these services would cost in the West. Now, before we move on to the next way to optimize your lifestyle and cost of living, I have a quick announcement. As we're closing the month of March, we're opening up 5 new slots for April to work with me in your transition to the Philippines. Look, I understand that moving to a completely new country halfway across the world comes with many unknowns and variables, especially if you want it done smoothly. I've experienced it myself because if you're not in touch with the right people, you end up wasting a lot more time, effort, and money in the long run. And that's what I'm here to save you from, so that the entire A to Z process of moving here and the logistics is completely done for you. So if you need assistance in your transition, feel free to book a call with me in the link in the description down below. And if I find that you're a good fit to work with me, we'll move forward together and I'll help you in your move to the Philippines and in this next chapter of your life. Now, the next pillar to maximizing your lifestyle in the Philippines for the least amount of money boils down to one thing. Location, location, location. Sure, there's many places in the Philippines where you can manage to live on only $500 per month. But the trade-off is this. You won't be living large. On one extreme, you spend very little only to deal with very high crime rates, poor healthcare, lack of infrastructure, lack of convenience, and a poor quality of life. And on the other extreme, you can have all the convenience in the world, phenomenal healthcare, exceptional safety, and everything at your fingertips. The only caveat is you probably would be spending on par with your Western expenses, and of course we don't want that. So how do we get the best of both worlds so that it's like you're spending in Southeast Asia, but you're also living like a king? Well, right now I'm going to lay out for you 3 places that will enable you to live a high quality retired lifestyle without spending as if there's a hole in your wallet. Starting with number 1 is Sabu City. Sabu City is the ideal city where you can enjoy the best of both worlds, both Western amenities and a relatively low cost of living. Because unlike BGC, where it's a small radius, 15-minute walking distance city, Sabu City is much more sprawled out over a larger radius of districts and neighborhoods. So what does this mean? Well, unlike BGC, where the price point of each different area around the city remains relatively the same all throughout, with Sabu City, price points throughout the city tend to vary. From the rent to the restaurants, depending on which area you choose, you can be very flexible with how much you actually spend. So while a place like, for example, Sabu IT Park may not be within your budget, you can choose to live outside that neighborhood. But then again, for the average Westerner, even Sabu IT Park should be relatively affordable, because it's certainly more affordable than BGC. Now, of course, part of living large means the ability to have convenience as well as a diversity of experiences. I remember back in Chicago, if we wanted to do something like, for example, visit the beach, the closest beach to us was Montrose Beach or North Avenue Beach in downtown Chicago. And being 30 minutes away, of course, you already know what downtown Chicago is like. Especially on Lakeshore Drive and on the Gold Coast, it is not cheap to say the least. So to spend $500 out in the day minimum to experience Chicago and the city is not out of the ordinary for most Chicagoans. Meanwhile, if you're living in a city like Sabu City, there's a range of activities that you can do for a very affordable price. I mean, Mactan Island Beach is only half an hour drive away from Sabu IT Park. So not only is it easy, but it's also incredibly convenient to go on a weekend staycation at a resort like Belmont Hotel for only $50 per night. So not only is it easy, but it's also incredibly convenient to go on a quick weekend staycation at a resort like Belmont Hotel for only $50 for the night. Now, the second place in the Philippines where you can live large but spend small in is Elo Elo. Just like Sabu City, in Elo Elo, you're afforded an urbanized city atmosphere mixed with provincial, authentic Philippine landscape just minutes outside of the city. Thereby, you get the convenience of having Western amenities, but also the tropical beach island vibe just nearby. Now, as per cost of living, the average condo in the heart of Elo Elo Business Park will range from $500 per month up to $1,000 per month on the high side. To be able to live near places like Festive Walk Mall and the Elo Elo Esplanade for that price is not bad. And interestingly enough, some condos and townhouses within the outskirt areas of Elo Elo will even cost you only as much as $350 per month. Now, what's convenient about living in Elo Elo Business Park is the nearby attractions that you can visit for very cheap. For example, you have Gigantes Islands, which boasts mystical caves, pristine lagoons, and white sand beaches, and this is by far the most popular travel destination in Elo Elo. You also have Bucari, which is not too far away either, located in the mountainous regions of Leon. Bucari is known for its pine tree forest and its cool climate. So here you can take panoramic views of vegetable farms, lush mountains, and a glimpse of Elo Elo City. Also, a hiking distance away from Bucati is Imoy Falls. This place features a natural pool, which is perfect for swimming. So to get away from the tropical heat in the city, you can experience the summer capital of Elo Elo, which is Bucati. Moving on to the third place where you can live large but spend small, and that is Eastwood City within Quezon City. So this was the first place that we touched down in when we arrived in the Philippines, and to be quite honest, I wasn't a big fan of Eastwood myself, but the reason I do recommend it is due to three things. Number one, first of all, it's very safe. Two, it's family friendly. And three, you can live in such a Western environment with Western amenities for an affordable price, especially in comparison to the prices that we have here in BGC and in Makati. Now, the reason I'm personally not a fan of Eastwood is mainly because of how small the city is. The city hosts a bunch of great shops, restaurants, and stores, but the only issue for me is that you can nearly walk the entire radius of the city within 10 minutes. So only within the 3 or 4 days that I was living in Eastwood, even by then, I was getting pretty tired of it. But again, if we're talking safety, convenience, urban infrastructure, and Western amenities for its price, Eastwood is definitely one of the best cities out there. On average, rent can range as low as $500 per month and up to $1,000 per month for a 2-bedroom apartment. And so there you have it, Savvy Expats. That's your simple roadmap to living large but spending small in the Philippines. My basic belief is that you do get what you pay for, but I do hope that this video did provide some insight into how you can cut some costs while still maintaining a quality lifestyle. If your move to the Philippines is coming up but you don't know where to start, I have a free 15-step checklist resource in the link in the description down below. This checklist shares with you the initial steps that you need to take for a successful move upon touchdown when you land in the Philippines. From exchanging your money to opening up a bank account and finding an affordable rental, this will be very crucial to your move. As always, it was a pleasure, Savvy Expats, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless.